You're about to leave reality and enter the world of fantasy sports.
And now, from the Sports Center in East Hampton, New York.
Sports! Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to Sports Talk, where we make fantasy sports into a reality. I'm your host, Rob Shaw. We're talking some fantasy football today. You can check us out anytime at sports.com, or for more fantasy football insight, check out youtube.com/fanalist. Plenty of different opinions with different thoughts there. All right, my friends, let's go to the Sports Talk Stock Report. That's what we do here at sports.com. We're talking about the players who are moving on up in value, as well as those you might want to cut your losses with right about now. We'll start with the good news first. For that, we go to the Bull Report, and on that note, Duece McAllister is suddenly very high in value these days. Why, you ask? Well, let's see. The guy came into the year as an afterthought. Pierre Thomas was getting carries ahead of him. Obviously, Reggie Bush is a staple of the running game for the New Orleans Saints, but suddenly things have changed within a couple of weeks. Duece McAllister became the number 2 running back. However, he's been getting a lot of the touchdowns recently. But that's not the important thing. Reggie Bush got injured this past weekend, hurt his knee. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks. That being said, Duece McAllister is thrust into the number 1 spot for that team's offense. This is a guy who could get plenty of value. 15 to 25 carries per game, anywhere from 65 to 115 rushing yards per game. You can look at a touchdown or so. He's got plenty of value. A lot of people look at him and say, okay, he's injury prone. He's up there in age. Don't realize the potential of value that he might end up having. You might want to consider trading maybe a Chad Johnson, a TJ Ushmanzada, a Torrey Holt, a wide receiver who's underachieved so far this year for a player who appears to be projected to much better days ahead in Duece McAllister. Next up, we're going to have to cut our losses with someone on the Bear Report, and his name goes by Ladainian Tomlinson. Wow, this guy's been pretty good so far throughout his NFL career, but this year he's struggling with turf toe, and that's just the beginning of the issues. Now, obviously, you don't want to cut this guy, but my concern is that you might want to trade him because he's one big risk right now. You might want to alleviate the damage and try to get 2 players in return for his value. Now, the reason why I have concerns about his value is the fact that it seems like the Chargers are moving in a different direction. Philip Rivers is throwing the ball more than ever before. You can check it out by his career numbers so far this season. Vincent Jackson, Chris Chambers when healthy, Antonio Gates. Those are the guys who have really been doing well with this new change in the offense. Darren Sproles also has been relieving some of the duties of Ladainian Tomlinson. Tomlinson still will have value. There's some great days ahead, but it does not seem he's going to have the consistency that he's had in previous seasons. Again, I would consider making a 2-for-1 deal, letting go of LT. And finally, we're up to the Traders Report. We're talking about a guy who's had an all-right season, but I still suggest that you trade him while his value is high. His name is Heath Miller, tight end of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's good. The problem is that there's many other good options at tight end who might have lesser of a name and maybe perhaps less value when it comes to the Traders Report in the trade market. The point is that Heath Miller's good. He's got a great career because of his damage in the red zone, but this year, just 1 touchdown. In the meantime, players that aren't really heard of as much, such as Zach Miller, Visanthe Shianco over for Minnesota, perhaps even Owen Daniels playing for Houston. Those guys don't have the reputation of a Heath Miller, but they are giving you better production than Heath Miller so far this year. So what to do? Trade Heath Miller. That's what I recommend. Try to get one of those lesser-known names and see if that could really help out your fantasy team. It would be a steal in my opinion, and I believe that trend is going to carry on throughout the remainder of the season. Well, my friends, that is your Sports Talk Stock Report. If you have any questions, particularly about your fantasy teams, go to sports.com and check out the forums. Post your question. Butch Husky will get back to you. We promise you that. And again, any more fantasy football insight, you can check out youtube.com/fanalist. Plenty of good fantasy sports experts there as well. Well, my friends, until we meet again, may the sports be with you.